Imagine finding a project that took some of the world's most impressive industrial masterpieces, saved them from destruction of the furnace, and recreated them into spectacular Scandinavian architecture and design. And furthermore, by doing this, handle the waste of one industry as building bricks in another, and thus reducing the environmental impact of the world's most dirty industry at the same time. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through my dreams, hopes, creativity, and tenacity, because that project is coming to life as we speak. The building industry is dirty. It stands for 40% of global CO2 emissions and 40% of energy consumption. The industry is often thus referred to as the 40% industry. But looking at the industry in itself, 24% of its emission transcribes to its use of different materials, dirty materials. And while the innovation has been quite big on energy, giving us solar panels, new isolations, and better windows, the innovations on materials has almost been on a standstill. It is not possible to achieve international goals of CO2 reduction without handling the construction business. And without environmentally friendly products and materials, we can't do that. As an architect, this is a noble task. I have to find new materials for my own industry. But where do I look? I looked out my window. From my office window, I overlook the city harbor of Bergen, the second largest city in Norway. From the Viking Age, when we first conquered the seas, and until today, the ocean has been our country's and my city's most important place to work, most important access to food, and most important means to wealth. Here, architecture, identity, and place has melted together into one continuous story, from the Viking Age through the Hanseatic period and until today. When the ships of old came in for repairs, we did not destroy them. We did not shred them to pieces and toss them away. We did not use their small bits to make new materials. No. We all automatically seized that as quite stupid. The story these ships represent are too important, and the quality of these materials so high. When these ships came in for repairs, we used the materials again. We upcycled them and used them in the building industry as something else. Because the materials are not only of high value, they are of higher value. And the quality of the materials is not only high, they're better than what is normally used for construction in the city. And these buildings, they are still here. They're standing as the core of Bergen Centrum 800 years later. This was the way. But somewhere in the last 50 years, we lost ourselves. Industrialization, globalization, and effectivization changed everything. The materials lost their quality. Everything looks cheap and boring, and everything looks the same. In a way, architecture went bland. Designer Luca Picardi did this project called Familiar. It shows building in Bergen or Oslo, London or New York. We don't know, and that's the point. We build the same houses out of the same materials all over the world. And this reduction of quality, this reduction of space and identity, also turned construction into something dirty, a polluting industry that drags us all down. I knew we had to do something about this. And looking out my window, I can still see the ships, busy as ever. They are bigger, they are made of metal, and they have other functions. But Norway still have the 5th largest fleet in the world. The sheer number of installations is breathtaking. And I ask myself, what happens to these ships? Jack-up rigs, platforms. Where do they go to repair? What happens when they die? What happens to all this metal? Unfortunately, of the total tonnage globally of the floating installations and ships, 84% ends their life in Southeast Asia. And we know how this looks. I'm not going to talk about beaching today. That's a big problem in itself. No, I'm going to focus on the rest of it. Because of the rest, 12% ends up in China, 3% in Turkey, and only 1% of global metal ends up in the rest of the world. This 1% is what I'm focusing on, and I'm going to show you why the solution might be found here. The ships and platforms that does come ashore in the West, the 1%. The 1% that we are going for decommission locally. It is cleaned and dismantled. The pieces are cut into smaller pieces, and then get shredded and boxed and shipped. A lot of it actually gets shipped all the way to the east, where the pieces rejoins their brethren and get melted and turn into new metal things. Then they get packed and stacked and shipped back to us so we can buy them again. What was the problem with this? The modern age platforms are masterpieces of the highest qualities. They are made to withstand some of the world's harshest climates in the northern seas. Wind, ice, storms, waves, snow. They withstand it all. And as with the sailboats, we lose these qualities if we melt them. We lose the engineering art. We lose identity, and we pollute. And come on, to turn an oil platform into this, a nail, it's just plain stupid. The solution to this is to think like the constructors and shipbuilders of old. Confronted by the waste of one industry, they managed to identify the quality of the materials, and they reused it as the core component of a different industry. This is upcycling, not downcycling like the nails, but to add value to an object, making it even greater than it was before, and thus higher its value in the circular economy. And what are we dealing with? This oil rig weighs 35,500 tons, premium quality materials, and my God, it's like a playground for architects and designers. Look at it. Look at all these pieces. Think about all we can build of this. We are going to change the building industry. Actually, we are going to try to change the world. We are going to show people that circular economy is not only a flashy word. We are going to make ships and oil rigs into environmentally friendly building products for the building industry. And it's going to look smashing. Because by giving us architects this as a new catalog of materials we can use, we can create something new, something the world has not seen before, something unique. And the materials tell the story of what has been and what is to become. We can create new constructions, new residential buildings, new cities. And this fall, we signed a contract with real estate company Lindstove for the preliminary phases of their new sustainable office building in Bergen. Right now, we are prototyping materials for this project. And hopefully, next spring, we are producing the materials of the future. We are going to save the world. We have at least found our way of doing our part. An idea that occurred after watching beautiful Bergen City Harbor and contemplating about our collective identity. Nordic Circles are built as an industrial partner of existing decom wharfs. We're aiming to create a local industry, and we are aiming to upcycle maritime metal into environmentally friendly materials for the construction industry. Thank you.